The sizzle of burgers on my propane grill should have been the most dangerous thing happening in Pine Haven Estates that lazy Saturday afternoon. But when Vivian Lancaster came marching across my grass in her pearl-clutching power heels like she was storming the Bastille, clipboard in hand and fake smile welded on, I knew the real fire hazard was about to explode. "Ryan Caldwell," she barked, voice shrill enough to make the ducks on my pond scatter. "Open flames within 50 feet of a water feature? That's a direct violation of Article 14, Section 3 of the bylaws. The pond is visible from the public trail, which makes it a community aesthetic zone. We voted on it. I didn't even look up from the grill. Morning, Vivian. First, it's propane, not an open bonfire. Second, this pond sits entirely on my surveyed property line. You got no jurisdiction back here." She planted her hands on her hips, pearls gleaming like tiny trophies of control. "The bylaws are our community's sacred covenant, Mr. Caldwell. That pond disrupts the visual harmony we all paid good money to protect. I'm calling the sheriff right now. This is a safety issue." Before I could laugh, she was already on her phone, voice rising like she was reporting an active shooter. "Yes, officer, he's grilling meat near a water feature during dry season. He's endangering the entire neighborhood." 5 minutes later, 2 cruisers rolled up the drive. Vivian vibrated with righteous fury while I wiped my hands on a towel and strolled up to meet them. One deputy gave her a long look, then turned to me. "Sir, can you explain what's going on?" "Sure," I said, calm as the pond behind me. "Pond's on my land. Here's the survey I keep in the garage for exactly these moments. Propane grill, no county fire ban today. And the HOA has zero authority over private backyard features not visible from the front curb." That's straight from the charter she loves quoting. The second deputy raised an eyebrow when I handed over the folder. Original plat map, HOA boundary lines, county zoning exemptions, all plastic sleeved and ready. They scanned it for 30 seconds. "Ma'am," the first deputy told Vivian, "he's not breaking any laws. This is a civil matter. We're not getting involved." Her jaw actually dropped. "But he built that pond without approval." The deputy crossed his arms. "That's between you and your board. Have a nice day." As the cruisers pulled away, Vivian hissed over her shoulder, "You haven't heard the last of this, Mr. Caldwell. The community will not tolerate rule breakers." I flipped another burger, the smell of char and victory drifting across the water. "That slip about the pond? Gold. Because here's the thing the Queen of Pine Haven didn't know. I'm a licensed property rights attorney who'd spent the last 2 years biting my tongue while she terrorized the neighborhood. Calling the cops on a man trying to enjoy his own backyard? That was the match that lit my fuse. 2 days later I dropped a thick envelope at the county compliance office. Charter violations, lack of proper notices, forged aesthetic zone, amendments pushed through without quorum. Then I started walking the public trail that snakes behind everyone's yards. Old Mr. and Mrs. Delgado had a bright orange, non-compliant shed sticker slapped on their 20-year-old storage unit while they were at church. She said it's 2 inches too tall, Mrs. Delgado sighed, clutching her coffee. We built it exactly to the handbook she gave us. I snapped photos, time-stamped, and smiled. Pattern emerging. That night I had my buddy install a motion-activated camera tucked under my eaves, aimed at the trail but legally on my property. Infrared, silent, cloud-synced. At 2:47 a.m. my phone buzzed. There she was, Vivian in a dark hoodie and gloves, flashlight beam dancing across my fence line, clipboard out, snapping pictures of my pond from 3 feet inside my grass. Not the trail. My yard. I saved the footage, filed the trespass report before breakfast, and highlighted the irony in the complaint. She was violating the exact visibility from public areas rule she used to harass everyone else. By Thursday the county had called an emergency oversight hearing. The room was packed. Vivian strutted in with 2 board members like bodyguards, chin high. I sat front row, briefcase on my lap, calm as still water. The chairwoman opened. Allegations of procedural violations, selective enforcement, and possible financial misconduct by the Pine Haven HOA board. Vivian shot up. This is nothing but a personal vendetta from one disgruntled homeowner who refuses to respect community standards. I stood, opened my folder, and laid it out cold. The Delgado sticker without notice. 3 other neighbors fined for unauthorized bird feeders. The fake aesthetic zone amendment rammed through with 0 public vote. Then I hit play on the surveillance. The room went dead silent as grainy night vision showed Vivian creeping across my lawn at 2:47 a.m. That individual, I said, voice steady, is standing on my private property at nearly 3 a.m. Height and build match known photos of Ms. Lancaster. She violated the very visibility rule she weaponized against the rest of us. Vivian's face turned the color of a stop sign. I demand legal counsel. This is slander. The chairwoman didn't blink. The footage plus the pattern is enough for immediate suspension of all HOA activities pending full audit. If we find forged documents or misuse of funds, this goes to the DA. 3 days later, the bulletin board outside the community center posted the notice. Pinehaven HOA operations suspended. Vivian's name scrubbed from every listing. But the real hammer fell when county auditors started digging into the books. Turns out $82,000 in monthly dues had vanished into 2 shell companies, EcoVista Solutions and Harmony Enhancements LLC, both registered to a vacant lot in Phoenix. Invoices for community landscaping, that never happened. Vivian tried to skip town. Didn't make it past the Nevada line. When the cuffs clicked on her wrists outside her McMansion, neighbors lined the street, not to protest, but to clap. Her house went on the market the next week. The boardroom she once ruled from? Locked and empty. I stood by my pond the evening the dissolution papers were signed, flipping burgers again. The Delgados brought homemade salsa. The young couple from down the block brought beer. Someone lit sparklers. Laughter rolled across the water, where fear used to live. We formed a new volunteer committee, elected, transparent, with actual votes and 0 secret fines. I helped draft the charter. Full financial disclosure, mandatory appeals, no more clipboard tyrants. Mrs. Delgado raised her glass. To the man who grilled while the empire burned. I smiled, watching smoke curl into the Colorado sky. Turns out a backyard burger wasn't just dinner. It was the spark that finally torched a crooked little kingdom. True or false, the woman who spent years screaming rules are rules, for everyone else was actually the biggest rule breaker of all. And did karma just deliver the ultimate bylaw violation right back at her?